Somewhere on this planet right now, a human life is being saved, not by another human, but by an animal. It might be happening deep in the ocean, where a powerful shape moves silently beneath a struggling swimmer. It might be unfolding in the heart of a forest, where a creature we fear more than we understand steps between danger and a child. Or it might be happening in a place no one is watching at all except the animal who decides, in that split second, to intervene. And you have to ask yourself, why? What makes a wild creature risk everything for a species it doesn't owe anything to? Why does a dolphin attack a shark for a stranger? Why does a gorilla cradle an injured child instead of walking away? Why does an elephant run toward chaos, not away from it? Is it instinct, intelligence, or something deeper that science still cannot explain? As you're listening right now, take a moment and imagine this. The world's wildlife is fighting every single day to survive our expanding cities, our noise, our pollution, even our fear. Yet in the middle of all this, there are moments, real, documented moments, where nature turns around and protects us. Moments that make you question everything you thought you understood about the animal kingdom. Moments that remind you that maybe, just maybe, we are far more connected to wildlife than we realize. And that's why this story matters. Because when an animal saves a human life, it doesn't just show bravery, it reveals a hidden intelligence, a quiet empathy, and a mystery so profound that even scientists sometimes can't explain it. It shows you that nature is not just surviving, it is communicating. It is reaching out. It is responding in ways that touch a deep part of the human spirit. Today, you're going to discover animals who stepped into danger without hesitation. Animals who acted with impossible intuition. Animals whose actions left experts speechless. And animals who proved that courage is not limited to the human heart. By the end of this video, you will see the wild world in a completely different light. But before we dive deeper into these extraordinary rescues, I want you to do something simple, something powerful. Comment, "I love wildlife," if you believe every animal deserves protection and respect. Your voice matters more than you think. And now, before we begin this journey of miracles, Wildlife Miracle TV invites you to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for helping our wildlife documentary family grow to 1,000, 5,000, and then 1,000 subscribers and beyond. Every click supports wildlife, every share spreads awareness, and every subscription helps this message reach more people across the world. Now, take a deep breath. Let's step into the wild and witness the animals who saved human lives. And now, as you step deeper into this story, let the world around you fade for a moment. Because what you're about to witness are not legends, not myths, but real events where animals made a choice that changed a human life forever. Small Blue Diamond 1. The dolphin healed. Picture this. Yuri swimming off the coast of California. The sun is warm, the waves gentle, the ocean calm. And then, without warning, a ripple of tension moves through the water. A shape appears beneath you, sleek, fast, deliberate. Dolphins. Not one, not two, but an entire pod circling you with sharp, urgent movements. Their bodies slam against the surface, tails cracking the water like whips. In that moment, you don't know whether to panic or stay still. All you know is that something is happening. And then you see it. A dark silhouette rising from the deep. A great white shark. Silent. Enormous. Moments away. But the dolphins don't run. Instead, they close in tighter around you, forming a moving barrier, a living wall of muscle and intention. Every splash, every strike, every movement is a message: stay behind us. We will handle this. People have told these stories for decades. Dolphins saving swimmers, surfers, divers, entire rescue teams. And while it looks like kindness, the truth is more complex. Dolphins are highly social, deeply strategic, and capable of recognizing distress signals in both their own species and others. They understand threats. They understand vulnerability. They defend their pods, and sometimes, for reasons we still do not fully understand, they extend that protection to humans. Many believe dolphins help us because they love us. But science suggests something different. It may be instinct. It may be territorial behavior. It may be an ancient response wired into their survival system. But whatever the reason, in that moment, when you're surrounded by danger, that pod becomes your shield. And you walk away, or swim away, with a story you will never forget. The lesson you take from dolphins is simple. Teamwork saves lives. And sometimes, the bravest thing in nature is choosing to protect someone who cannot protect themselves. But dolphins aren't the only species to step between humans and danger. Small blue diamond 2. The gorilla guardian. Now follow me into a different world. A world of thick forests, deep roots, and powerful silence. A child leans too far over a viewing rail at a zoo and falls. A sudden drop, a scream, a thud. The crowd freezes. Because waiting below is a massive male gorilla, a silverback. A creature strong enough to end a life in a single strike. But what happens next is not violence. It is something far more extraordinary. The silverback approaches slowly. He doesn't roar. He doesn't beat his chest. Instead, he lowers himself beside the injured child and places his hands on the ground, gently. He stands guard, positioning his body between the child and the rest of the troop. At one point, he waves the younger gorillas away, almost like a parent saying, "Give him space." Witnesses describe his expression as calm, almost protective. His presence keeps the other gorillas back. And when human rescuers arrive, he steps aside, allowing them to take the child to safety. Why would he do that? Gorillas are often misunderstood. People imagine them as violent and aggressive, but in reality, they avoid conflict whenever possible. Male gorillas, especially silverbacks, have strong natural instincts for protection. They recognize weakness, vulnerability, and distress, and to them, a child is a child, no matter the species. Many assume gorillas act out of rage or unpredictability. But moments like this reveal something deeper. An empathy that crosses the boundaries of species. An understanding that cannot be measured by science alone. What you learn from the gorilla is powerful. Strength is not only about what you can destroy, but about what you choose to protect. From the forests of Africa to the deserts of Australia, acts of courage come in unexpected forms. Small blue diamond 3. The desert camel rescue. Imagine standing under the burning sun of the Sahara. No shade. No water. No sound except the endless wind carrying sand across the horizon. A traveler becomes separated from his group. Hours pass. Heat drains his strength. He collapses, unable to take another step. His camel, the same animal many people assume is stubborn or indifferent, kneels beside him. But it does something unusual. It refuses to move forward. It refuses to continue with the caravan. It stays and stays and stays. Handlers shout. They tug at the reins. But the camel stays planted in the sand, refusing to leave the unconscious traveler behind. When the search party eventually notices the caravan hasn't moved, they return, and find the collapsed man exactly where the camel chose to stay. That decision, that refusal to take even one more step, saves his life. Camels are far more intelligent and emotionally aware than many realize. They have powerful memories, strong bonds with their handlers, and an instinctive ability to sense distress. These animals survive some of the harshest environments on Earth. And they understand the difference between strength and collapse. Many think camels don't care. But the truth is, they remember kindness. They recognize voices. They form connections far deeper than what they show on the surface. And the lesson you learn from this desert rescue is clear. Loyalty is not always loud. Sometimes it is silent. Sometimes it is steady. Sometimes it kneels beside you in the sand and refuses to leave. But sometimes, the smallest animals show the greatest courage. Small blue diamond 4. The heroic honeybee. Now shift your mind to a quiet walking trail on a warm afternoon. A woman strolls with her service animal, not a dog, not a horse, but a tiny honeybee trained to recognize danger long before any human can. Halfway through the walk, she begins to feel strange. A tightening in her throat. A burning pressure in her chest. Her breathing shortens. She doesn't know it yet, but there's peanut residue on a nearby bench, enough to trigger her severe allergy. Before she can understand what's happening, the honeybee reacts first. It begins buzzing wildly, circling her head with sharp, urgent movements. Not random. Not aggressive. Focused. Purposeful. It flies directly toward passers-by, darting back and forth, drawing attention with a sound most people try to avoid. And when one person steps closer, the bee returns to its owner, buzzing louder, faster, almost guiding them like a living alarm. Help arrives. An epinephrine shot is administered. The woman survives. And the honeybee, this tiny creature we often swat away without a second thought, becomes the hero of the day. Why? Because bees can smell changes in human chemistry with astonishing accuracy. They detect shifts in stress hormones, toxins, allergic reactions, even minute changes in breath composition. Most people think bees only sting. They imagine danger, not protection. But bees can be trained, and even without training, some naturally pick up human distress cues with incredible precision. From the honeybee, you learn something powerful. Greatness doesn't always come from size. Sometimes the smallest creatures carry abilities that can save lives. But what happens when a predator becomes the protector? Small blue diamond 5. The shark that pulled a diver to safety. Now dive deep beneath the waves. Into the cold, blue quiet of the open ocean. A diver explores a reef, drifting slowly, taking photos, unaware that danger is coming from behind him. Not from a shark, but from the ocean itself. A sudden shift in the current wraps a line of old fishing debris around his legs. He kicks. He twists. But the more he struggles, the tighter it coils. His air starts running low. Panic rises. And no one else is around. Then, from the corner of his eye, a shadow. Massive. Smooth. Gliding toward him. A large shark circles. Not attacking. Not fleeing. Just watching. And then, something unexpected happens. The shark nudges him, once, then again, pushing him upward, lifting him just enough to loosen the debris around his body. The diver uses the moment to kick free. Once he rises to safety, the shark swims away, silent as a ghost. Why would a shark do this? Sharks are investigative creatures. They respond to unusual movement, distress vibrations, and sudden changes in the water. Most sharks do not see humans as prey, and many encounters end without harm. But every so often, a shark behaves in a way that seems deliberate. Almost protective. Almost curious about our struggle. The misconception is simple. People think sharks are mindless killers. But sharks are ancient navigators, intelligent survivors, and often uninterested in humans. If they wanted to harm us, the ocean would tell a very different story. What you learn from this moment is clear. Fear blinds us. Understanding reveals the truth. And sometimes, the creatures we fear most show us the most unexpected mercy. And sometimes, loyalty doesn't come from intelligence at all, but from pure, unwavering instinct. Small blue diamond 6. The elephant that returned to rescue. Now travel with me to a village touched by monsoon rains. Where the river swells, the trees shake, and the world feels heavy with water. A young girl, no more than 9 years old, stands at the edge of a flooded road. Years earlier, she fed an elephant that passed near her village. A simple act of kindness, a small offering of fruit, a moment she barely remembered. But the elephant remembered. Because elephants do not forget. Not faces. Not voices. Not kindness. During the flood, the girl collapses. The current begins to pull her away. Her cries weaken under the roar of the water. And then, through the murky floodwaters, a massive figure charges forward. An elephant. The same one she once fed. Witnesses say it pushed through trees, through water, through debris, heading straight toward her. With powerful yet gentle movements, it lifts her with its trunk, raising her above the rushing water, holding her high until help arrives. Why would an elephant do this? Elephants possess one of the most advanced memories in the animal kingdom. They recognize human voices. They read emotional states. They react strongly to distress, their own, their herds, and sometimes ours. Many think animals forget. But elephants don't. They carry decades of memories, good and bad. They remember kindness the same way they remember danger. This rescue taught people something profound. Emotional intelligence isn't limited to humans. Sometimes it lives inside the largest hearts on land. And as the waters carried the echoes of that moment, everything became clear. These miracles remind us of something deeper. In these final moments of reflection, one truth stands clear. Nature doesn't just exist around us, it reaches out to us. Today we saw animals choose courage over fear, compassion over instinct, and connection over distance. From dolphins guiding the lost, to gorillas shielding children, to elephants stepping between danger and the helpless, these moments weren't accidents. They were choices. Maybe animals understand more about us than we realize. Maybe they sense fear, innocence, or hope in ways science cannot yet explain. Because when sharks protect instead of attack, when bees defend instead of flee, when camels refuse to leave a stranded traveler behind, these are not random events. They are proof that the bond between humans and wildlife is ancient, real, and deeply alive. And if these stories moved you, remember this. Even the smallest action, sharing this film, supporting conservation, learning about endangered species, could spark the next miracle. When we protect nature, nature protects us in return. Today we witness dolphins, gorillas, camels, bees, sharks, and elephants prove something powerful. Life recognizes life. So tell us, which moment surprised you the most? Which act of bravery touched you the deepest? Your answer might shape our next documentary. If you want to see more wonders like this, subscribe to Wildlife Miracle TV. Every week, a new miracle is waiting. Thank you for watching. Until the next miracle. Keep your eyes open. Nature is speaking.